Well, I mean, I don't mind, I'll do it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do to help anybody in this town, but they can.
I know you're willing to do that, but, you know, you spend $180,000 trying to prepare something, you know, we don't attend.
Well, I can tell you this, there is, in 4 races, there's about $110,000 a month goes out of that racetrack just in payouts to the drivers. That's not counting the $5,000 a week payroll we have there. Now that $5,000 payroll, every bit that's spent right back to Pike County because they live here, you know. And I mean, and then you know, I'll say this, it takes almost $2 million a year from start to finish in 6 months to run that racetrack. And I would say out of that, that's what I pay out. That's not what the people pay out to come in here to do it, in fuel, in parts. I mean, there's so much economic impact, I mean, that they stop at the parts houses, at the motels, at the restaurants, at the hotels. I mean, everywhere you go, it's got a sales tax impact, and it helps the businesses as far as, I mean, you know, we're not, you know, I hear it's talking about the senior citizens fund or whatever, and I understand that they need help and all that, but, you know, we're not talking about, I mean, if they were spending $2.5 million a year, you know, I just can't keep doing it. I'm not asking to get it back. You know, we need to sell the billboards. We need to sell the advertising instead of everything I got to do in this town. And Tommy knows some of it because I try to work with him on different things. I mean, it's everything I work. A lot of the people just try to beat it down, but they're not Tommy.
Yes.
And, you know, I've not asked nobody for not one dime. I will say this, one of the biggest supporters of that racetrack is Tim Strange out there that's got Strange's Automotive out here. And Tim would do anything, whether he's there or not, he buys season passes and all that, you know. And we need more people like that in the community. We give cut rates, you know. And I even run, I think I run a general store. I have 37 or 38 people I run tabs on. And then they come in when they get your Social Security checks and pay me. We got them lined up in the office to pay. And you know, I sell them all their concessions, all their tickets, cut rate tickets and everything. And at the end of the month, you know, I have to schedule the last race of the year on the first day of the month so I can get my money for the previous month. And there's nobody that's ever had that racetrack done that for the people here. And I think that's why we have the fan base that we've got. It keeps growing.
And you buy all your concession supplies locally too?
I buy everything. I buy, in 3 years, I bought $120,000 of stuff from the parking barn up here, Newport parking. We buy Pepsi, we buy everything I buy for that racetrack is all local. And I can't even get a discount from Lowe's and be a licensed contractor and I get a, you know, I can haul all the stuff out of Ashland. It costs me less money because I've got trucks, I've got cranes, I've got everything. But I come down here sometimes and rent equipment that I already have just to put the money back in the community doing nothing right. I paid a sweeper truck down here to sweep that racetrack $200 a week for 2.5 years. And they said, well, we're not going to do it anymore. Well, I mean, it left me, you know, they wouldn't do it anymore for $200 a week. So I said, well, just tell me how much you take for the sweeper truck and I'll buy it and do it myself. But I already have a sweeper truck in Asheville that I do parking lots with, you know, but I didn't get mad at him or anything. I just bought his truck and took him home. I mean, I got a sweeper racetrack, but I can't find nobody here to do it. I've offered jobs. I had to get a guy out of Mars Hill to come down here and work 5 days a week to keep the mowing and stuff done. Because I hired person after person and I'm not down here. You know, every day I go back to Asheville and run a business there. Half the time I come in here on Thursday and the grass would be mowed. So I had to hire somebody out of Mars Hill and I finally got one, you know, he drives back and forth every day. And I mean, I tried to give jobs to people in Pike County and some of them won't take it, you know. I mean,
Ed, what days are these races on again?
Yeah, October the 15th and 16th, the big races will.
What time do they start and what's the,
I think on Friday they'll start at 5 o'clock, and on Saturday they'll also start at 5 o'clock. We're gonna try to get them in, 'cause that time of year it can get pretty cold at night.
so October the 15th at 5 o'clock on Friday, October 16th at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Exactly.
Do you know about the History Channel when they're actually gonna be there?
That's gonna be before that. Do you have the date on it?
October 3rd? Do you know what time it starts on?
It's a reality show, it goes all week.
What they're doing is there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna be coming about. Yeah, we're not fully clear on how they're doing that through the newspaper, they're advertising here, taking applications, doing all that stuff for the entrance. They're gonna be there. I talked with them last week, they want a couple of representatives from the track there. But they'll be coming out in the newspaper, on radios. I mean, they got big advertising deal coming out on that thing. That's the third, October the 3rd through the 9th, yeah.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. Unanimous. Thank you, guys. Item B is the first reading of City of Newport personnel policy.
Mayor, Alderman, this policy is the one that we discussed earlier in spring, and it is simply changing the language from the current personnel policy to make it consistent with our city's charter. MTS, both legal and HR have worked on this with me, and all the changes in here simply puts the city administrator into the personnel policy, whereas our current policy has the mayor still handling disciplinary issues, hiring and firing, which is a direct conflict with our city charter. In addition, TML has recommended that we get a version of our personnel policy passed that is consistent with the charter. They have recommended that 2 years running. And there is another change on there, that it was a change from the state law, and in your draft here, everything highlighted in yellow, but everything has been recommended by MTS, both legal and HR.
So basically what we need to do is I'd make a recommendation to council to pass this on the first reading. And then they'll have time to look at it to see if there's anything that stands out that might need to be revisited before the second reading, correct?
Yes, sir. And we do have a workshop scheduled on October 5th that council can address any issues at that time and make any modifications as required.
This is the same one we reviewed back some time ago and the last one.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion to approve it on the first reading? Do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear it. Item C, consideration of annual showcase on the river dates for 2011.
Mayor, we had a wrap-up meeting after the first annual showcase, or the inaugural showcase, we should say. And it has been determined for the next year we'll try to host a 3-day event. The first day would have some activities going on a small scale, allow vendors to get in and set up, and have some fun things like kicking off the Orlando Cross tournament, perhaps community day. Saturday would still be the main day. It would be our all-day festivities from 11 to 9. And then Sunday, the Unity Committee thought it'd be nice to have like a God and family day, where it'd be focused on gospel music and family